Hey everyone, and thanks for jumping back into the Cryptoverse. Today we're going to continue our collaboration series. We've had these guests on our channel before, Aaron and Austin from Altcoin Daily. If you're not subscribed to them, make sure you go subscribe. Link to their YouTube channel and their Twitter will be in the description below. They're very active. I mean, they post daily YouTube videos, but I feel like they're even more active on Twitter, right? More active on Twitter. Maybe it should be Altcoin Hourly on Twitter or something. But these guys have been around crypto for a long time. They cover the news on a daily basis, which is not something we talk about. And so I do think it's a great way to complement sort of your intake on the cryptocurrency asset class. How are you guys doing today?
Excellent, Benjamin. Thank you for having us on. And I do just want to echo your point. Our types of content, our channels are totally different. You put out a great video the other day on the yield curve, just going over charting what it looked like in the past recessions. And you put out such great content. You're one of the only channels I say stay subscribed to, keep listening, bull, bear, because of the content you put out. So thank you for having us on.
I appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, and I just want to echo that. Thanks for having us on. Yes, we do like to stay active. It is a bear market, but just like, trying to get healthy in real life, if you want your crypto portfolio to be healthy, you got to stay active.
That's true. And you guys were active for the whole 2018 bear market, no matter what happened, right? And that was a brutal bear market.
Dude, it's so much. It was brutal, Benjamin. I don't know if people were around then, let us know in the comments, but it was brutal back then. There wasn't a whole lot going on with Ethereum. It was before DeFi summer, let alone these other protocols. It was kind of like Bitcoin and Bitcoin derivatives like Dash and stuff like that. But that's, one of the things I want to talk about on this video right now is all the crazy, wonderful upgrades going on in altcoin land. It's not just one or two, but I have a whole list of things. I don't know if your audience is aware of, but we're going to share that with you.
I mean, yeah, so let's go through it. So that's what I want to talk about first. What's going on in the crypto world? What's going on in the cryptoverse, I should say? Because look, in a bear market, it's easy to just get consumed by the price, and it's depressing to watch the price go down like every single week. Some of the altcoins just seem like they won't stop dropping. But what are you seeing fundamentally develop in the altcoin space that has you bullish for the future?
Okay, we just put out a video on our channel. It was called Top 10 Altcoins. Basically, altcoins doing big things. Because unless you're subscribing to us or following the cryptocurrency market every day, you would not know about this stuff. So I'm just going to go through kind of like in list form, briefly explaining each one. Hopefully, I don't just go off on too many tangents and runoffs, but we can talk about any of these more at the end, but just like going down the list kind of. Okay, Polkadot. Polkadot's a big one on this channel, I know too. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't know it by listening to in the mainstream cryptocurrency news, but Polkadot is at all-time highs. Not in price, but in developer activity, and that's one of the most important metrics. So just for a little perspective, it's been almost a year since the start of Polkadot's signature parachain auctions, and now a year later, they're at all-time high in dev activity. And the more projects that come onto Polkadot, the more DOT gets locked up. Just an interesting metric. Not a lot of people are talking about this. Speaking more about all-time highs, addresses holding 1 Ethereum at all-time highs. Right now, one Ethereum costs between $1,000 and $2,000. If you're bullish on Ethereum, it's hard to accumulate 1 Bitcoin nowadays. Perhaps in the future, it'll be hard to accumulate 1 Ethereum, at least harder, but we're seeing more and more people do that. Addresses holding 1 Ethereum at all-time highs. What else is at all-time highs? Bitcoin hash rate. One way to measure the security of Bitcoin's proof of work network is hash rate. And despite the price being, staying near 20,000, Bitcoin's like a stable coin, Bitcoin hash rate at all-time highs. So strength of the network, very good. I remember last year in 2021, when China said, Bitcoin miners get out of here, and the hash rate dropped for a while, and everybody was kind of worried. Well, Bitcoin hash rate, all-time highs. What else is at all-time highs? Algorand DeFi. You hear about DeFi on Ethereum all the time, and some other networks. Hardly hear about it with Algorand. Algorand DeFi hits all-time highs. And I'm talking about total value locked in DeFi, to be specific.
Right.
Cardano. Now, you know what? I don't know much more all-time highs, so we're going to have to, this is not really at all-time highs, but Cardano dApps and users on dApps and NFT activity in general on Cardano, not at all-time highs, but Cardano's ecosystem is booming. with users on their dApps. So not just people holding Cardano, but people doing things on the dApps on Cardano. Users are booming and their NFT ecosystem is booming. All right, we'll just list off a bunch now. Chili's social token grows staff by 70%.
Well, maybe we could have Ben react to what he's already heard.
Okay,
or what it means to you.
You know, I mean, it's interesting because, I mean, again, it's easy to get distracted by the price, but I mean, these are fundamental developments that are occurring that keep you bullish for the next cycle. I mean, again, in 2018, this was pre-DeFi summer of 2020. This was pre-Michael Saylor coming in and you know, buying Bitcoin. This was before it ever went mainstream. And so for us back then, we didn't know exactly what was going to happen, right? We were always talking about all the prices going to go higher, but we didn't know for sure. You know, we didn't know for sure, but we could see some of the positive news stories developing back then, and it ultimately fundamentally helped us go to new highs. So I mean, look, I think it's great to hear these perspectives, because it's now when the tourists are gone, right? I mean, the tourists are leaving. When they leave the Cryptoverse, that's where all the real development occurs, and it's that development that you're talking about. Especially with, you know, you said like all-time high activity on Polkadot, DeFi on Algorand, etc. Like it's that sort of stuff that should help provide the fundamentals for a future bull market. And no, I think it's very important that this stuff is going on. I don't personally talk about this stuff right now because it's just like, you know, it's a bear market, but I mean, this is ultimately what will propel us to the fundamental case, I suppose, to ultimately go to new all-time highs. What were some of the other final ones that you had?
And not a lot of people are talking about it, Ben, because a lot of, you know, it's, first of all, it's smart to kind of consolidate in Bitcoin and ETH and just, you know, figure out, you know, when we're going to see a trend change in the overall cryptocurrency market. So it's smart to do that, but it's also, you know, these are fundamental metrics: dev activity, hash rate, you know, people holding on, like more holders for 1 ETH. These are fundamental metrics. So it's smart to keep track of for sure. Anyway, the next stuff, Chili's social token platform grows staff by 70%. So, you know, we've been seeing tons of layoffs in the crypto space. They're growing their staff 70%. We have not heard the last of social tokens. That's my takeaway. Avalanche, dude. Avalanche just had a major upgrade. I would say that this upgrade, it's called the BAMF upgrade. It's probably, think of it almost like Cardano's Vassal upgrade from a couple months ago. And that was a big one for the Cardano community. So Avalanche just had the BAMF upgrade. And basically what that is Avalanche subnets now let validators stake using the subnets token. So basically projects building on Avalanche, they can, the tokens on Avalanche, not the Avalanche itself, but they can reward their validators with the new project's tokens, basically. And those validators still have to stake the AVAX token. There's more to it than that. That's basically the gist of it. Big upgrade for Avalanche. And then major upgrades coming for THETA. THETA has a major upgrade coming in December, basically a new mainnet, bigger and better. Chainlink, proof of stake coming. Zilliqa, proof of stake coming, and Zilliqa just hired a former CBOE, so the stock exchange, Chicago Board Options Exchange, to be an executive on Zilliqa's board. But both Chainlink and Zilliqa moving proof of stake. Any comments on that? I just have a few more.
What do you think? Like, because I mean, there's a lot, and there's a lot of development in the space, which is, I think, is great. And again, as I said before, this is where the utility is developed, and then everyone copies all the great utility created in the bear market. They copy it in the bull market and ride the wave. But let's suppose you're an investor. Like, let's suppose you're a new investor to crypto, and you want to get some exposure to, say, the altcoin market. And you know, if we follow what happened in, say, 2018 and 2014, we're coming up on potentially some great opportunities in the altcoin market in the not so distant future. I mean, this stuff can come and go really quickly. If you had to pick three, I'm putting you on the spot. If you had to pick three, just to say, you know what? The development looks really great on a lot of these projects, right? But I want to pick three that I think look the best and that I think will have the best fundamental case, from a fundamental point of view. Obviously, it's hard to know exactly what the price is going to do because it's so variable in so many different things. What do you think? What do you think are some of the three altcoins that you say have the best fundamentals, sort of as we prepare for a future cycle?
Well, to preface that, because we think about this all the time on our channel, constantly digging, trying to do research, looking which projects are implementing. that doesn't invalidate the altcoin reckoning, or we're in a bear market or Bitcoin dominance, which you talk about all the time. I did make a video a couple weeks ago, best cryptos to look at during a recession, meaning that when you eventually, maybe you want to take out, go a little farther on the risk curve, take out some altcoin positions, these are the ones actually developing, just like what Aaron listed before. So I'll give 3. Maybe Aaron can say if he disagrees, if he agrees. Obviously, besides Bitcoin, if you're looking at altcoins, Ethereum is number 1 for a reason, has the biggest network effect. You could go into top, no matter, this is how you tell which layer 1s will make it in the end. The ones that actually have the building, actually have the developer activity, because those are first and foremost who uses the coin and which brings the people onto those blockchains. You look at the top 10 dApps in existence today, Ethereum has 9 out of 10. I think PancakeSwap, BNB, it has number 3 with PancakeSwap. But other than that, Ethereum is dominating. And now post-merge, we're not deflationary yet, but nobody cares about crypto right now. As DeFi grows, as NFTs grow, that's going to bring more people on Ethereum, judging by who's using the dApps today. And that's going to be great tokenomics post-merge. So ETH is number 1, number 2 and 3. For me, I'm an L1 guy, because we know DeFi is not going away. We know NFTs aren't going away. But no matter which dApp or which coin makes in the end, the value is accruing on these L1 blockchains today. And I'm more of a risk-averse guy, so I like betting on the L1s. And you got to look at the blue chips, Polkadot and Cardano, or what I'd pick. Aaron?
What if, before we go to Aaron, if we exclude Ethereum, let's say Ethereum's a blue chip like Bitcoin, we're going to exclude it from the altcoin plays. We'll just say, everyone's going to have their Bitcoin and Ether position, right? What's another one besides Polkadot and Cardano? If you had to pick one more.
I'd go Algorand. Again, I put this in top cryptos to watch in a recession video, but there's a list of quote unquote compliant cryptocurrencies that SWIFT and the Fed and the Bank of England have all deemed okay. It's known as ISO 20022 or 222. And these are the ones, as billions of dollars are transferred globally, SWIFT already does this. The Fed already does this on the legacy systems. They're looking at protocols that they deem okay to do that in the future. Doesn't mean every one of these are going to make it in the end. It just means, hey, these are the good ones thus far. XRP, Stellar's on that list. Algorand's on that list. Again, I'm an L1 guy, so I'd go Algorand.
Yeah, Algorand is, out of all those, Algorand's the one that I have not held before. But I talked to Guy from Coin Bureau on my channel, and he was also very bullish on Algorand. So I'm definitely considering it for the next cycle. What about you, Aaron?
I liked what Austin said, and there's a reason you say, well, how about you exclude ETH? And there's a reason people go, well, is ETH even an altcoin? And there's a reason why Fidelity, besides Bitcoin, is only listing Ethereum at this point. I think they'll list other altcoins in the future, and that's a good question for your audience. What altcoins should Fidelity offer their clients? But it speaks to the fact that Ethereum, speaking about it like from a risk perspective, I just think it's like so much less riskier than last cycle. They changed their tokenomics, the adoption, the awareness is just so much greater. Yet there's still that, risk reward. There's still that asymmetrical upside that, people have been talking about with Bitcoin forever, but maybe a little bit better than Bitcoin. Of course, the risk is a little bit, higher than Bitcoin as well. So obviously, Ethereum is just like so good versus last cycle. Now, I like Polkadot. I like Cardano. Let's talk about something else. I'll say it, Benjamin. Solana, I'll say it. Nobody wants to, it's easy to goof on Solana now, right? Now there's other coins coming out like Aptos saying we're the Solana killer. Aptos might have some problem with tokenomics, but Solana is the easy one to kind of make fun of. But I put Solana on the list because their market share is great. Coinbase Wallet integrated Solana, OpenSea integrated Solana. Yeah, they're heavily VC backed, but that means they're heavily connected as well. Plus, the news from just the other day, Helios, a company, raised a 3.1 million seed round to make building on Solana faster and cheaper. So they're specifically, working with Solana to try and, make building on it faster and cheaper, which will incentivize the ecosystem. And then, so that's what I'd say. And then,
So what were they? Solana and what?
Solana. I just threw Solana as another one. I don't really have one.
Yeah, I think he agreed Polkadot and Cardano, but he also said Solana. Right. Yeah, and I mean,
I'm writing these down.
Yeah, I mean, Solana is one of the ones that I didn't have last cycle either, but it's also one of the ones that did the best. I mean, Solana. I mean, a lot of the layer ones all did really well last cycle. Another question I have for you, and this is something I always think about too, and I thought about a lot last cycle, and I sort of acted on it. Every bull market. So let's fast forward a year or so, and let's hope we're going back into another bull market, with the next halving and everything. Um, every cycle tends to have, new cryptocurrencies that don't exist in the prior cycle, right? And it's hard to know. It's hard to know exactly what those are going to be. Are there certain like how do you guys keep up to date with like the new projects coming out because they come out so quickly? And one of the things I've noticed is that there's always a few projects that come out. They I think they time it on purpose, right? Like they purposely try to time it so they come out after the bear market is over, so that when you look at the price chart, it just looks like a great price chart, right? You don't actually see the drawdown from the prior bear market. A lot of cryptocurrencies did that in prior cycles. What do you guys do? I mean, like, what type of research do you do to sort of figure out what some of these new cryptocurrencies could be? And how do you go about picking which ones you might want in your own portfolio? And again, these are not any specific coin. It's just like theoretical coins that don't even exist today.
I think the two best places that are maybe obvious, but also sort of like very obvious hidden gems to me. Twitter is a great spot to get information instantly from these top VCs, from these developers. They start tweeting out ahead of time, or they're definitely tweeting about it, as they're developing or as these coins launch. And then Reddit is another big one, just because those two places they talk about information that the mainstream won't. And you're not going to get this information with the mainstream. So I like to get it there. And then once you have those little nuggets of wisdom, then you can go to the website, delve into the white paper, and look at some of the top backers. Because again, Aaron and I aren't coders, we're not developers. So I like to look at as much fundamental info as possible.
Yeah, it almost seems pretty simple. Look on Twitter, look on Reddit, dive deep into the niche subreddits, dive deep into the hashtags, but most people won't do it. And that's a very quick way, or just a good way, to get a lot of good information. And ultimately you'll have to sift through it yourself, but most people won't do it, but that is a good way. And I just want to finish and say that it's almost like an impossible, question, right? How do you find the good projects in the next cycle? It's so hard because you're going to miss a lot of them. A lot of them are going to seem really good and then maybe go, have problems like Luna or something, right. Or like, Shiba Inu. They talk about so many people made money with Shiba Inu the last cycle, but by the time most people heard about Shiba Inu, the biggest gains were already gone and you were buying closer to the top. So you're not going to find all of them. It's very possible to find one or two. But it's almost like an impossible task because no matter how good you are, there's so many other factors.
I heard stories about that. Like, someone spent 2018, 2019, crafting the best crypto portfolio, like measuring out what the risk was. And then their brother joined in 2021 and just put it all on Doge and made more or something. It's just crazy.
Those Winklevoss, dude.
It's crazy. It's crazy how these things work out. Well, I want to wrap up with one final question, and then we'll go ahead and head out. And by the way, before we wrap it up, if you guys aren't subscribed to Altcoin Daily, make sure you do so. Description below, you find our links both to YouTube and Twitter. Super active. They also go to basically, it seems like every single conference they're at, right? I mean, I see you guys traveling all sorts of conferences, and so I think that's great. My last question is, what's your advice to people right now? Like how do you mentally get through this phase? Because it is difficult for a lot of people. And I see it a lot too. And like I try and beg and plead with people that one of the biggest secrets is just time, right? Like that's one of the biggest secrets to crypto. But how do you guys get through it? What keeps you going through the grind and on a daily basis, even in the bear market when not a whole lot is happening? What keeps you excited about the future of crypto?
Number one, like you said, have longer time preferences. Always time to do more research. Like people like to think, I like to think, man, if I would have bought Bitcoin or mined it in 2010 or 2013, man, I would have held forever. But the truth is the bear markets were just as brutal. You got to have those longer time preferences and get through one bear market. And then you're sort of more seasoned in the crypto community. And other than that, I'd say find a community. And that community for you might be on Twitter. It might be with that one friend that also shares your vision. I, my brother, we like to go to those conferences if we're invited to speak, but to talk to people in real life that are also, share this vision. So get the community and have longer time preferences.
What personally keeps me going is connecting with people in real life at conferences. I love talking to my peers and just people going to the conference, connecting people like this, doing cool interviews on our channel, going on other people's channel, doing cool interviews. But, when I was starting out in crypto, I didn't have the time to do that. I didn't have the money to do that. So I don't know if that'd be the most practical for other people. To me, what kept me going in the beginning is just kind of seeking out more information, because it's obvious based on what Fidelity is doing, based on basically so many things that we go over on our channel all the time, that crypto isn't going away. These people aren't preparing for another crypto boom in 1-2 years. They're preparing for the next decade. So something that always kept me going in the beginning is seeking out those just interesting nuggets of information or niche podcasts or whatever, and just realizing, okay, this is like another little green flag that tells me this industry is here to stay. And based on that, trying to make decisions that would, benefit me.
Those communities help so much with the bear market. Like those little Telegram communities and Reddit communities are so helpful, because you see that you're not, there's so many other people that sort of see the same vision that you do, and it makes you really optimistic about the future. Guys, it's been a pleasure having you here. I mean, it's always great to talk about what's going on at a fundamental level in the altcoin space. It does often get overlooked in a bear market when everything just seems to be bleeding, but it is really setting us up fundamentally for the next bull run. Last reminder, everyone here, if you're not subscribed to Altcoin Daily, go do it. Link in the description below. We'll also put it in the pinned comment. And we will see you guys next time. Thanks for joining.